Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder. What's up, guys? Ryan here at Torsion Talk Podcast, and I've got some things that you need to know. So before we get into the show today, there's 3 things that I think are really important. Number 1, I'm bringing back Virtual Door Dealer Conference. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And the first thing that I want you to know is that this experience will be similar, but shorter than our last Virtual Door Dealer Conference. For those of you guys who weren't part of Virtual Door Dealer Conference, it was a virtual conference we did in 2021 when IDA canceled the expo. And we had over 100 dealers sign up and attended a 2-day online conference. And it couldn't have gone any better. It was absolutely amazing. I've secured a speaker. We're going to be doing some interactive stuff. So it's not going to be one of those things that you can just do and like multitask. You're going to have to be involved. So if you want to attend, here's my guarantee and my promise to you. Number 1, you're going to learn something. Number 2, it's going to make you better and it's going to grow your business. So those are the 2 things that I promise you if you attend Virtual Door Dealer Conference. We're going to be opening up for registration here soon. It's either going to be free for Mark Annuity and GDU clients, but if you are not one of those, it's going to be cheap. Like, we're trying to make this so affordable that there's no excuse. I know that some companies out there are really struggling right now. The economy's not great. So we want to make this affordable and something that we do for you. So that is happening December 13th. So make sure you block your calendar off. We got the summit is going to be in March. Listen, if you are dragging your feet on this, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, I think we got 1, maybe 2 more tickets left for all in. I think we got 4, 5, maybe 6 more tickets for standard access. This will sell out within probably the next 2 months. I promise you, you're going to want to be there. Willie Robertson's going to be one of our speakers. We've got like 6 or 7 speakers. It's going to be jam-packed with great, amazing information, as well as the camaraderie with tons of dealers. Everyone's bringing their spouses. So bring your spouse, make it a workcation, write it off, spend some time with your loved ones. It's going to be great. And then lastly, I just want to say that the marketing world right now is really challenging. Some things are going well, some things are not going well. You got extreme volatility in SEO, and I know you guys are going to be surprised to hear this, but I'm kind of digging AdWords right now. So I've been like really learning and diving in on everything AdWords recently. And since they've shifted more to a pay per action, I'm really loving the idea of being able to pay for a phone call on AdWords rather than a click. So we are honing in some of our AdWord campaigns that we've been working on. It is working phenomenally. So I want to encourage you guys to really, if you are paying per click right now on AdWords, I would encourage you to shift to more of a pay per call. That way you can manage that a lot better. Some of the stuff that Google AdWords has come out with in the last year or 2 has really changed the game, and you need to be on top of it and making those adjustments. So with all that information, I hope you appreciate my updates. I feel like they're wonderful and called for. But today, I've got an interview. I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk, so I'm just going to ask some questions today and let the star of the show, no pun intended, be Jesse Yeomans from Star City Garage Doors. How are you, Jesse?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, bro. Glad to have you on here. So I kind of feel bad that I haven't had you on sooner. You know, like I feel like it's a lot of work sometimes for us to get people on the show. So we just don't put the effort in a whole lot. So shout out to everyone who's come on the show. And if you want to be on the show and tell your story, you got a unique story or just something to share that you think would make the door industry better, hit me up and let's get you on the show. But Jesse's with Star City. He's out of Virginia. Happens to we've bumped into each other, and we started doing his marketing not long ago. And so we've kind of built a little bit of a relationship. I got a lot of respect for Jesse. He's very passionate for what he does. He's got a cool story. So we're going to talk through some of the story today. So Jesse, tell us how you got in the industry and kind of your role within Star City.
Yeah, man. So I am 25. I graduated high school in 17. Right out of high school, I joined the Marine Corps Reserves. So I did that for a little bit, and then went to boot camp, that whole 9 yards, and then got into working for a door dealer in the Richmond area. I won't name any names because it's not a huge name, but a name a lot of people know. They were good. They trained me up. I was mainly an installer for them my first year. So I was hanging 3-4 doors a day, slaving away at those long days.
Production, or you were doing retrofit?
A little bit of both. I was mainly doing production stuff, a lot of new installs, new construction all over the eastern side of Virginia. So that was all right, I guess. It, paid the bills at the time. And then I ended up moving over to the Lynchburg area, and I decided to get out of doors because I was like, oh, this don't pay enough. This is stupid. Let me just go build houses, because I had a little bit of experience in that. So started doing that a little bit, and then learned a lot there, which has helped me tremendously in other aspects of life. And then I went and I moved to Georgia for a while, South Georgia, nowhere near the hustle and bustle of your area. No offense.
Mm-hmm.
Go Dogs, though. So moved down there and actually worked for another really big company everybody knows down there out of Savannah. They treated me great, had a great time there. I actually don't really have any complaints. So I did service there. Mainly I was a service tech, and did that for a while. And then I had met a girl before I moved, so then ended up being like, I should probably go marry her. So I moved back. That's what happened. And long story short, so did that, moved back, and then got in touch with Kevin Cameron, who I kind of knew. We kind of had a few connections there. He had a company in Richmond and also over here in Roanoke. So got involved with him, and here I am years later. So that's the short story.
Nice. So what's your role with Star City?
I am wear a lot of hats, do a lot of things, but not everything. So technically, like on our website, since I am your hero and y'all do our website, technically, like I'm listed as like operations manager, but I do everything we need to do. So I'll be, a lot of days I'm running service. I'll be helping on big installs here and there, helping Micah, my brother. This week I haven't even gone out in the field. I've been outfitting the truck for one of the newer guys, so been taking care of that. Ordering from Service Spring and Somer and everybody else, getting orders put in, kind of doing a little bit of everything.
Shout out Somer real quick. Thank you for your sponsorship.
Yeah, for real. Shout out Roman, my guy. So I do a little bit of everything, and it's been changing over the last few years, like shifting from doing service and installs to getting out of installs, letting somebody else take care of that. Little less service, especially getting Austin out in the field, which I'm probably gonna get him out there tomorrow, to be honest with you. So getting him out there, it takes a lot off my back. My wife's also having a baby in probably less than 2 weeks. So
congratulations.
Yes, sir. So I got that coming up. So we have
your girl yet?
Yeah, it's a boy. So
nice.
Yep. So
carrying little door on the name.
Yeah, little door guy. So we got that coming up.
He's gonna be a dog fan, right?
Oh yeah, you already know. We already planned. We got tickets to Alabama in Athens next year. So
no way.
Yep, we're gonna be going. Yep. So yeah, that's kind of like the short story of all that. And it's gonna be fun when the baby comes, because it's gonna kind of show. It's gonna give the other guys more responsibility just to take care of other things. Take me out of it for at least a few days. So that's the whole goal. Unfortunately, we had a test trial 3 weeks ago, had an appendectomy emergency over the weekend. So that was one of those. Told Micah, my brother, I said, hey, this happened. you see your jobs on the schedule, you do your thing, take care of Austin. We had Kristen, our office girl, kind of answering the phones, taking care of all that. She did awesome. So everything went smoothly. So once this baby comes, I'm prepared to turn the phone off and do my thing.
Nice. Good for
Yes,
you.
sir.
What does that feel like?
It feels good because the best part about getting that appendix out of me is that I went through that. I was out for a week, at least out, like not doing anything, you know. So that relieved a lot of my stress and anxieties of like, oh, when the baby comes, everything's fine. Like they'll take care of it. I'm not really worried about it. So that's like it's like the first step of that I've had ever. So I'm like pretty excited about that.
So what have you done to help prepare those people so that when you step away like that,
Mm-hmm.
you feel confident that they got it?
Yeah. So I'd say Micah for one. He mainly is doing all of our installs. He's my brother. He's my younger brother, but he's way bigger than me. As you know, you've met him too.
Mm-hmm.
He's my younger brother, but he does mainly all the installs. Unless we're like swamped, then we'll, switch him out. But all of that, he'll run service occasionally. So he's, as far as the customers go and like their experience and the overall customer service, which I hate that word a little bit, but that whole overall process, like I know he's got it. We have so many customers that I sell them a door because I'm running estimates, doing the sales of the new doors, and I'll go out there and then they're like, "Oh, are you doing it?" No. And then, we order a door and 2 or 3 weeks later, I call to schedule, we're going to schedule this install and they say, "Yo, you're coming, right?" "No, sir, I'm not. Micah's coming. He's my brother. He's our installer. He's a beast. He's got it." And they're always like, "Oh, that's disappointing though, blah, blah, blah." So, but he's got it down with the customers. He'll get there. He makes a better impression than me, probably. He gets in there, does his thing, and then they're like ecstatic at the end of the day that he did it. So I can trust him with the customers for sure, which is the big thing. I can also trust him if there's parts that we're low on or whatever else. He can talk to Kevin. He can talk to Kristen. He can get that taken care of. So he's kind of like my backup when I'm not around, I guess, at this point, which is good. And I don't think, hopefully he likes that. I don't know. We got to talk about it. But and then Austin, on the other hand, like he's our newest guy. He started in February, so we've trained him up really well. He always knows he calls me for anything. If I'm busy, he can call Micah, and Micah can probably take care of it too. So it's a really good feeling. And I don't know what I've done per se to answer your question. Micah rode around with me for a year and then done his own stuff. He's been at it for almost 3 years now total. So he's doing really good at it. And I guess I've taught him everything I know. I don't want to toot my own horn, but that's about all I know, is kind of just train him the best of my ability.
How are you developing as a leader? Like, what are some things that you're doing to learn the things that's going to help you run the operations better?
I'll tell you, at first, like when we brought Micah on, it's like, okay, he's my brother. So there's I don't want to say a fine line there, but like a lot of people said, "Oh, don't hire family. Oh, don't do this." But like me and my brother are tight. Like we've thrown hands before as kids. Like, we're brothers. So even if we both had a bad day, at the end of the day, like we got each other's backs. It's no big deal. So I'm to the point now. What was your question again?
What are you doing? Like, how do you develop as a leader and operationally to learn? Because you said you're fairly young. I don't know. Did you go to school for anything business or anything like that? Operations? Do you have any formal?
Nothing formal. I did go to school when I was in the Marine Corps Reserves, of course. I did that for a while. I got to go overseas to Europe, which was cool. So I actually got a lot of benefits for college tuition. So I was like, I may as well use them. So I actually did a full year of Liberty Online, remotely, and it was under business management technically, but at the time I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. I'm like 18, 19 at the time. I've done literally nothing there. I will say, as far as like leadership goes, apart from management, being in the military, that always helps, and it shows me a lot, taught me a lot. And like now, this is going to be like, I guess, ironic. Like I listen to you, of course. I listen to what you say. I listen to a lot of other stuff, and a lot of that kind of ties into it too. So I don't like I don't want to get too crazy on the management side either, because like I said, with my brother, like there's a lot of stuff where I want to like chew him out or just throw him on the ground or whatever. Like stuff's happened, but it's like I got to make sure. Okay, this is like an employee, you know,
Yeah,
and
your brother at that point.
I don't want to treat him like my brother. And then there's other times he might do something or make a mistake, which it's rare now, you know. But in the beginning, and it's like, hey, if you were if you were just an employee, this might be a different story. But you're my brother, so here we are, whatever, you know. So as far as development, nothing formal really.
Okay.
Like just to be honest with you, not at all.
How do you know what to do? Like, I see, I started this podcast originally because I was on Facebook in groups and answering questions. And because my background's very different than most people in the garage door industry, I was able to answer some business questions that I guess in a different way than everybody else was viewing it, which is fine and right or wrong. I don't know, but it's just a different perspective. And then I had people like start messaging me on Facebook asking me questions about business. And it got to the point where some days I'd get hit up like 8, 9, 10 times in a day. And I'd just be and a lot of times it'd be like the same stuff, right? I could literally almost copy and paste the answers. So I started the podcast because I was like, man, these guys are hungry for information. And there's literally nothing out there that gives them that information that's specifically like garage door related, some of the challenges that we deal with. So I thought, you know what? I don't like they've helped me because I came into the garage door industry knowing very little about garage doors, and I learned a ton in those groups about doors and installation and service, stuff like that. So I just thought like the podcast would be a great way for me to give back and share whatever information I have, and then bring smart people onto the show and share what they've got. But I'm always amazed at how like door guys start a business or run a business as like an operations person with no formal training and do it very freaking well. Like, I mean, we probably don't have like the largest profit margin averages in industry. And that might be the sign of like part of the challenge. But in the grand scheme of things, like if you measure how many like high school education or like GED guys are installers and technicians and start their own business and then grow it to be a multi-million-dollar business, it's a pretty big percentage. And I'm blown away at like how many people don't really have a source of like, they don't have a business coach, they don't have really a lot of schooling. And so I like to ask that question because some people are just self-learners, right? Like they just figure it out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like I look at that and I say, well, how much, like the question to me is would they be even better, or would they be even more further along if they had like a business coach or, whatever. So I'm always curious about, and that's why I asked the question, like, are you doing anything to advance? So it sounds like you're probably listening to some podcast about leadership and development and stuff like that. That makes you better. And that's like the modern day book these days. Like a lot of people are listening to podcasts, right? So thanks for the plug there for Torsion Talk, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, I'd listen to audiobooks too. So
yeah. What's your favorite audiobook?
I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks on business. So it's a lot of different stuff. Theology stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice. What's your favorite theology book?
Ooh, we're gonna really get into this.
Why not?
Yeah. Recently, so I'm in the Reformed faith, and recently it's been like on eschatology stuff. So,
okay,
like,
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, that's like end times stuff. It's just different views on it, stuff like that.
Probably a good time to be reading up on that.
I guess so. But no, I try the audiobooks mainly is like if I'm on the truck at the end of the day, I'm headed home. I listen to maybe your podcast on a Thursday morning or something. Listen to music throughout the day, maybe. It's like I'm headed home and I'm done. And I'm like, want something to completely distract me from like the business side of things, typically that's what I'm listening to, just because it's like it gets me thinking totally about something else.
Hey guys, I found something that changed my business and I want to share it with you. We've created packages that have included some of the best products in our industry to offer our service customers. The heart of that package is Stealth Hardware Kit. Stealth Hardware is the quietest hinges on the market. I challenge you to buy at least one of these, test it for yourself. Put it on your truck and design a quiet performance package for your customers willing to pay for a better, smoother running door. Buy your Stealth Hardware Kit at Service Spring, do a search for quiet hinge, and then buy that. You can buy a double or single door, 7 or 8 foot tall, and promise you, it'll change your service forever.
Somer USA and Somer Group want to thank you for an incredible year and the trust you put in them and their products. As you know, Somer places high value on relationships, education, customer service, innovation, and professionalism. And they are grateful to you for your part in the fostering and dissemination of these values. If there is any way Somer can support you in your journey, whether through their products, the values they hold to, or the knowledge Somer has gained through interaction with door dealers across the world, please reach out to the team at your convenience. They are here to serve you. Again, thank you from the entire Somer team. Check them out at somerusa.com. Tell them Ryan sent you. Well, if you are ever interested in listening to an audiobook, I don't know if they've got it or not. As a matter of fact, I'll take a look here. Let me see. There's a book called Blue Like Jazz. They do have an audiobook. It's by Donald Miller. And it's a book about Donald's journey from a small town religious place, like a religious town in small rural Texas. He goes to like Seattle to college and the extreme differences between the two and how he learns how to adjust and adapt to that environment, right? And it's so powerful. The ending is like one of those moments where you just like sit on the couch while you're reading it, crying. Like it was just unbelievably powerful. And it's kind of like a story of his life, but he's an amazing storyteller, which makes it even better. So I thought that was interesting. All right. So Star City, let's talk about Star City for a minute. You guys focus more on service or install, residential, commercial. Where are you at?
Yeah, so we are mainly residential. We will do commercial. We have a lot more like this time of year every year for some reason. We don't get into rolling stuff, like rolling steel doors, fire doors, that kind of thing. I did do that a little bit at the company I work for in Richmond with some guys. So I have a little bit of experience, but not enough to get into that right now. I need to go see David Mount, but,
man,
I know. So we don't do that much. We'll do like commercial sectional stuff, but it depends on what it is. If somebody calls, hey, I need a roller and this hinge at this nasty, greasy shop bay door, and it's like a Friday at 6 o'clock, like, sorry, call so-and-so. Cause we have really good relationships with, quote competitors. So it's like, we'll toss them work. They toss us work for stuff they don't want, for stuff we don't want,
Cool.
So a lot of the big commercial stuff like that, we send off. We mainly focus on residential. Installs versus service, we definitely profit margin wise has more in installs, of course. I don't want to say of course because I think you might be different. I don't know, but we typically try to get at least one install a day, whether that be one door at a house or like 4 doors on a house, because we have with Smith Mountain Lake in the more higher end area for new construction, but also replacements. We have a lot where it'll be like 4 or 5 doors in a house, whatever. And we have a ton of them coming up. So Micah's going to love me. But a lot of those, we definitely do a lot more high-end stuff. It's not as particular as like your company with Aaron, just because with our area, we go about an hour radius, so Roanoke, Lynchburg, Smith Mountain Lake, which Blake Shelton has a house there now, apparently he just built. So that's cool. I didn't get to do his doors, which sucks. But
I think I told you this before, but I
yeah.
really like Tyson's Corner.
Yeah.
Is it Tyson Corner or Tyson's Corner?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Love that area, bro.
So you've been there?
Long time ago.
Okay.
It was probably like 12, 13 years ago.
Okay, gotcha.
It may be very different now, but back then it was gorgeous. Beautiful homes, landscape, like everything was awesome.
Yeah, that's how a lot of it is down there. So we do a lot more. I don't want to say we do a lot of high-end doors. Like that's not necessarily our focus. Even builder grade stuff, we're not big on. Like we'll do it, but 9 times out of 10, some big company is gonna be half our price. Whatever. We don't care. We really focus like the curb appeal of the door, how it looks. That's great. I definitely give my 2 cents to customers. Hey, this would probably look good in your house. Give them the options as always. We try to, definitely let the customer make that decision. We'll look through everything. Like, what do you like? What do you not like? And we'll come, kind of funnel it through is what how I say it. And the other thing is like, we really focus on the mechanical aspects of the doors on people's homes. At least people that are it's their forever house, right? So we have a ton of people. It's like, hey, I'm 45, just built this house. I'm planning to retire in 10 years. I'm never going anywhere. Cool. Let's do I know you said you just want like a basic flush black door or something. That's fine if that's what you want. What can we do to like make this thing run for you? And we don't have to be out here every 5 to 10 years swapping springs or doing whatever. Right. So that's like a really big thing that we focus on. And then we also just focus on like no callbacks. You're going to have them. It happens, but our callback ratio is so low. It's not even funny. That's mainly from Micah's work, of course, but we're really picky about that because we want that customer, once that door's in or that opener's in, whatever's been done, it's ready to go. And like, they don't have to call us back unless there's some crazy issue, like a lightning strike. I had one a month ago, put in a new somer and it had struck the board. That happens, but that's kind of what we focus on mainly. Yeah. And whether that's service or new installs, even a lot of our new installs, we're using higher cycle springs, we're using better rollers, all that kind of stuff kind of goes into it. And then like pan doors, vinyl backs, we don't sell them that much unless the customer really just wants like cheap, whatever. We'll do it. We're not going to tell people no, because I'm kind of against that part too. But we definitely try to stick to like better quality stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I love it, bro. And I think that you're on the right track. We've here in Atlanta, we've like fully embraced the high end stuff. We just feel like that's just who we are, who we want to be. And it's to the point now where we can sell like $250,000 worth of garage doors and only sell like 12, 15 jobs. Right.
Right.
And we can install all those in like a single month, but a lot of them are multi-day jobs. So it takes 21 to 22 days to install all of those. And we love that. Like, we just feel like that's kind of the niche we've carved out. Difficult and beautiful is the way I like to describe it. Like if someone wants a difficult or beautiful door, then we're the clear choice. If they want something that's boring and plain, then go somewhere else. Like it's perfectly fine. Like we like challenges. We like beautiful. We want to send our photographer and videographer out there to like film and take professional photos and all that. Like that's our thing. We love that, right? And so I just feel like if you have an opportunity, and plus that stuff, if you post a short panel raised door on social media like your Instagram and go on Pinterest and post it, you're not doing anything. Like that's not the needle. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's gonna share that. Nobody's gonna be like, oh wow, I need one of those.
Exactly.
Maybe. But it's just like you post a full view glass door or whatever, like it's a game changer. People are like, man, that's beautiful, that's awesome. And so I love that. And we're trying to deliver a wow experience. And that goes for like the products that we install, the service we deliver, the experience, everything. And I know you guys are big on experience too. What's your goals with Star City over the next couple of years? Where are you trying to take it?
Yeah. So right now, we're growing, slowly. And obviously with everything the last few years. It's weird, right? I will say I didn't start in the 90s or the 2000s or even like 2018. What did you start 2018?
15.
15, my bad. So like I didn't start back then. I was like a baby, right? So the old days of like the super cheap whatever, or it may not have been cheap then. It's like, cool. I'm not even used to like those prices, and I think that's probably helped because all these, I don't want to say all these old guys, but all these guys that have been around in it forever, right? It's like the last few years, I guess, and you have all these times of inflation. It's like, oh, the price on springs has gone up. What are we gonna do, or whatever? And it's like, bro, like raise your prices, offer better service, whatever, a good experience, the wow factor, right? And it's all good. So all my experience prior to 2020 was installing and like doing some service, but barely. And it was, I didn't know how much this stuff cost. You know, the company I work for is a big company. They didn't even let us see the prices. It was one of those.
Yeah.
So, and like now it's like, I'm just used to what they are, you know? So that's a big thing. And I don't want to say we don't focus on high end. It's just that our area, other than the cities of like Roanoke and Lynchburg, which are small cities at that, it's a relatively rural area. It's not like middle of BFE, but it's a rural area all around. And most of your customers are in the city and have like a basement door that's 8 by 6 foot 3 inch on rear torsion with a concrete ceiling. You know, we have so many of those. So that's kind of like the big thing. Kind of like you said, difficult jobs too. People call us for that.
Yeah.
And as far as the raised panel thing,
That's installer in Virginia, then that's what happens.
something like that, yeah. With the raised panel thing, I definitely early on posted a picture of one, probably like 3 years ago on Facebook. I don't know. But recently, I'm like, you know, we still have those. We have people that they need something fast, and I can get that fast.
Yeah.
You know, within a day or two. If it's not already at our shop, keep in mind. But if it's a weird size, I can get it quick.
Right.
But it's like Micah used to like I used to, the rule used to be, okay, take a picture of every door inside and out. You know, take a video if it's a cool one, whatever. It helps us. He's really good at that. And he was like sending me like pictures of like raised panels, like just like you said. And I'm like, hey, I don't want that. Thanks though. Like, appreciate you doing your job. And he's like, do you just want like every door but that? I was like, yes, sir. That's awesome. So that's the big thing. And then I always remind them, like when we have those, we have a cool sweet job coming up. It's going to be like 2 canyon ridges, clopay, 2 big ones, and then a full view glass door on the back on like their pool house. It's new construction. So that's going to be a really cool one. And like those kind of jobs, I'm like, hey, take a lot of pictures, good ones, video them up and down, whatever, you know, do what you can. And I can put it together, make a cool little reel or whatever. So, you know, that kind of stuff I'm definitely bigger on. If I'm going to post something, it's going to be that as far as pictures of our work go. So, but yeah, so it's a fun time though. And I try to stay away from white raised panel.
Yeah. Tell me what the difference is in your opinion. What year did you start?
Like technically 2017 later.
Okay.
In the year. Yeah.
What's been the biggest difference you think, other than price? Because we talked a little bit about inflation and, you know, COVID. Garage doors went up double for us, like our cost. Other than that, what's been the biggest difference from 2017 till now, you think, in the garage door industry?
I think between Facebook groups, you know, Torsion Talk Podcast here, a lot of different other kind of industry leaders, I would say, which I'd put you in that category. So you're welcome. A lot of those guys, like a lot of, it's more public information now, right? Yeah. So with the Facebook groups, especially, like it's been around for a minute. I've been in Garage Vortex since forever. I don't even know how long. And like a lot of that's like public information. And like when you have a random question, some people don't know this, but like you can like go to the group and go in the search bar, you know, just like put in your keywords and then boom, you're going to get responses. If it's technical, you're going to get responses from like a bunch of people, mainly Mark Fisher, shout out to him, but you're going to get all those. If it's business related on the, like the running a business side, it might be from you. There's a couple other guys on there that always have good takes. So I would think that's the biggest thing. And maybe I didn't notice it before early on. I've definitely obviously focused more the last few years because I'm like, okay, I'm in this to win it, you know, long term. So early on, I didn't care, just to be honest with you. Like, I was 18-year-old kid. I worked like 12-hour days. I just didn't care about the industry or about the future. I didn't think I'd do it forever. So I'd say that's one of the biggest things. And also, like, not that every company has good customer service. We all know they don't. Different levels of good, I guess, because you can have decent, you can have neutral, you can have great, whatever it is. I would say, like, a lot of the companies, at least in the Richmond area, when I worked for one, nobody had like anything crazy outstanding. And even in our area, like, I'm not trying to talk about a competitor, but like, I can only honestly recommend like one, maybe two other companies if we can't get to a job or we don't want it or whatever. If another customer asks, and we have a lot of people too. Hey, if we don't use you, who should we use? And like, it's like a trick question,
Yeah.
I have a lot of people ask me that, and I'm like, oh, go use DoorTech. Go see Jake. Whatever. Like, we're buddies. So
He's a good dude.
oh, he's awesome. So we try to talk like at least weekly. But so that's like the biggest thing, is kind of the more public information. I think more people are getting certified now, through IDEA. I think that's great.
Just great.
Yeah, I feel like the IDA is making things more public now. I have not been able to get out to Expo yet, but I really want to. Obviously, you do a tremendous job of putting out all stuff for Summit, the virtual door dealer conference, all that kind of stuff you put out, which is awesome. And it's like readily known on the Facebook groups or wherever. Like, people just know, and if they don't know, they don't know, and that's on them, I guess. But that's like the biggest thing for me, is all the information you can get so quickly with modern day technology, of course, too.
Yeah. I have this conversation quite often about, I think sometimes we don't even know what we need or want because of lack of information, right? And if you can identify where you want to be 1, 3, and 5 years out, the only reason why you're not there yet is either time, finances, or the lack of knowledge of how to get there, right? So I can't do a lot about time and lack of finances, but if I and others are putting out information on how to get the knowledge, like, I just feel like, and it's growing, it's gotten much better. I mean, you could see it even in our numbers on Torsion Talk Podcast, but I think there was a little bit of resistance. Like, people are, if they have to pay for information, they don't want to pay. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, people are not willing to invest in themselves and grow themselves as leaders, right? They're willing to do it if it's free, if it's a podcast, maybe they'll spend $15 on a book or whatever. But if you're talking about a business coach or college or classes or, GDU or Garage Door Freedom, like whatever, like all this stuff that's out there that's available to you, like, it's really weird. Like, I get people that call me up and they're like, hey, Ryan, I really want to join GDU. What's it like? And when I tell them it costs money, they're like shocked and frustrated by it. Like, why would it cost money? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I got full-time staff that run it. You know what I'm saying? There's overhead. Plus, like, if you pay for it, you're going to show up and it's going to be more valuable to you. So I'm optimistic, but at the same time, I feel like as an industry, we got to get over the fact of it costs money and time to learn what you need to learn. But if you invest in yourself, you can speed that process up. Maybe your 5-year plan happens in 3 years because you find a shorter path to get there, right? So you can keep time a little bit. So long story short, I'm impressed by you. I think you're doing phenomenal things up there. Thank you for choosing Mark Annuity.
Yes, sir. I'm your hero. So
yeah, you are our hero. We call our customers heroes, for those of you guys who don't know. And we believe that we're coming in the middle of a story, your story, and we're assisting. We're the Robin to the Batman, right? And we believe that a lot of marketing agencies think that they're the sauce or they're the Batman and they're making your business great. When
a lot of them suck.
Fraction of that. But thank you for coming on the show, bro. I'm a fan of yours and
Appreciate it.
love the fact that you set aside some time in your busy day to do this. And have you named your son yet?
Yes. Nobody's gonna know though.
Oh, okay.
Only because there's a plan B just in case if we see him and we're like, he looks more like this, you know.
All right.
All
All
yeah.
right. So looking forward to learning his name in a couple weeks, but enjoy this time, and I'm glad you can be able to take some time off without having to worry. So Star City's got a lot of good things working for him, a lot of growth happening, and so congratulations to you and the team over there. Good work. And again, thanks for coming on this show. I appreciate you. You want to share anything before we jump off? Oh, you muted out.
There we go. I don't have nothing really, I don't think, other than go Dogs, I guess.
Go Dogs. Are we going to win the championship this year?
I don't know. Texas looks pretty good, but
Texas looks great.
yeah.
With the
We'll see. We'll see. Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if that was the plan all along, but who knows?
Oh, yeah. Probably. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Well, go Dogs. Thank you guys for listening to the show. Be safe, have fun, and we will see you next week.